Please, turn off the ad block, subscribe, and share. Links will be below for anyone wanting to support this channel.
Hello everybody, my name is Craig Bennett and I'm the founder and owner of TechViews Help. And today we're going to get into another hacking video. This hacking video is a kind of a very important one, especially dealing with the modern era of email and everything. And it is in phishing attacks. Now I'm going to show you an actual unsuccessful but a legit phishing attack. And also I'm going to get into how this relates to bigger scale things like Al-Qaeda, ISIS, and things like that, and terrorist groups, and how some of this relates to you on a smaller scale. I'm also going to get into, and let's actually just open up the phishing attack so I can talk about it and show you at the same time. I'm going to also get into a warning for anyone who wants to review products, specifically hardware, but really any product that you have to give your information out for. And basically, one thing that you want to watch out for is how legit is that request. That's a very, very important thing. So, as far as that goes, if you are going to review product or want to, first things first is you need to check out how legit the company or person that's requesting it, and find out exactly why they want you to do whatever you want to do. Now, if a fan wants you to review something, fine, whatever. But if a company or a person, in this case a black hat, wants you to do something, then figure out, is there red flags? And literally ask yourself this: is there red flags? Specifically, do you see anything wrong with their email at all? Misspelling, grammar errors, or at least enough for you to notice. Not on a first glance, but on an in-depth look. Things like email, like literally the biggest red flag is the email, and things like that. And for the most part, if you make sure that all your bases are covered, then you should be safe. Now, let's get into the phishing attacks, and let me get into a story real quick. This is a true story. I'm going to leave portions of this out, mostly because of time and also like the amount of time between when it happened and now. And also, I'm going to leave portions out for legal reasons, company name and everything like that. So, as far as that goes, I interviewed for a company and got a job for 2 days, and it didn't work out because I told them I was going to school, and they hired me, and they didn't like how I was going to school, so they got rid of me. So yeah. And anyways, going into the story, basically during my short time there, I found out they had a mass phishing attack. And it's a social engineering type of thing that was going on. Basically what the company did is they made cargo plane parts for the military. And also they made other things for the military, command post, mobile command post. They made refrigeration units, things of that nature. And a lot of that stuff, since it was going in a plane and being permanently attached to the plane at many times, because again, cargo planes, they have to pass through FAA regulations. Well, what ended up happening is there was a group that wanted to look around at a facility, tour the facility, and also do business with the company itself. And the group, they I don't remember if they give money. I don't think they gave money at first, but they end up going and saying, okay, we're going to do business with you, but we need to look at your facility, see how you do things, therefore we can figure out what is your quality, plus figure out what is the limitations, and yada yada yada. Well, what's happening is there's a law, federal law, is if something like that does happen, like if someone wants to tour a FA or a facility that makes aircraft parts, then they have to have a background check. I don't know if that's just military parts or any part that goes in the sky in general, but I know they have to have some type of background check. And this is a very, very important thing. Is it turns out the group that the people were with is they were connected to ISIS and Al-Qaeda. And to everybody's guess, they wanted to see the military parts and to gather information. So basically what they were doing is they were going to the company, presenting themselves as something else, or at least having a front to present themselves as something else, something legitimate. And if things went through, then they had knowledge, which could have been crucial, probably not, but could have been crucial to how to take out portions, if not entire fleets of planes, if anything like that ever came up. And that's a very important thing, and that's the extreme case, and that's a real world thing. And to put a little bit more emphasis on it, the company is a very, very, very small company in a very small town. So it can happen in large cities, it can happen in very small towns, less than 2,000 people in a given town. So it doesn't matter your area, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter any of that. Now, of course, that's a more extreme case, and that's using social engineering. That's the more advanced thing that you personally probably never see, and hopefully will never want to see or never get a chance to see. But in case you do, again, check the legitimacy. And in this case, you probably will get to see things like this, especially in your lifetime, if you haven't already. And these are phishing attacks. Specifically, it's something that looks legitimate, or it looks legitimate at some type of front, and then they want information, but they don't want it for reasons why they say. And this information could be company information. This information could be medical records for espionage and blackmail. That's actually a huge thing, by the way. And it can be many other things. In this case, it is contact details, specifically the my name and address and probably phone number and stuff like that. So with that in mind, this is a very targeted attack, which is actually quite interesting, because it seems like they've done their homework up to a point, and I might get into that in a second. But this is a very easy thing to flag if you do your homework. So going into this, what are some ways that you can tell if something's legit or not? Well, one of the biggest is how professional is the actual thing. Is there misspellings? Is there typos? That's misspelling, but grammar, like major grammar errors. Is there the format? How does it look? Things of that nature. And as you see here, it really, there might be some grammar or something like that, but for the most part, that's not here. And that is an actual very interesting thing. And this is why I kept this email to show you guys for an example for this video. Because you might hear all the time, check spelling, check grammar, check this, check that. But if that was all you're checking on this, you would think it's legit. And there's a key measure, and there are two key measures. The first of which is check the email. Before I check the spelling, grammar, all that stuff, check the email address. Where does it come from? And know what the subject is about. So in this case, it's a business thing. Want me to review something. Why aren't they using a business email? It's because they don't have one. And that's a very, very important thing. Now, what could happen is if they want to go a little bit more advanced, they could hack into the company and make their own email and go by that method. But you're not really going to see that often. More than not, it's just simply too time consuming. What happens if things don't work out? Not necessarily what happens if they get caught, but if I don't even answer back. Something like this, sent from a regular email. Okay, an hour at most wasted. But something like the other, 2 weeks. Probably depend on the company itself. I don't know the security of this one, but depending on the security and the company itself, you can have a pretty good amount of time wasted. And then you got a risk of being caught. So the risk versus the reward is simply just not there. But is again, obviously a possibility. And if they do end up hacking into the company email, then there's not much you can do as far as asking the company itself, because they might intercept that before that that comes about, as far as them seeing it. And that's a very important thing in itself. But for the most part, the first thing that you need to check for phishing is their email. And specifically, ask yourself, why doesn't it come from a professional email? Or why is their email with all these weird things? And that is an actual tip that a lot of higher-end security professionals will talk between each other about, but not to someone who's coming up and who actually needs that knowledge, maybe like yourself. Now, in case if you're still not sure, say you checked all this stuff and you just don't have a good feeling about it, but it's something that you might want to be interested into, or say for example you are interested into it, but there's a red flag, you can simply send an email to the company and ask. And most of the time, they will get back to you and tell you. In fact, when I sent this person the email saying, hey, can you send me a email from one of their addresses so I know this is legit, I never got anything back. And that's a big red flag in itself. But after waiting for 24 hours, I sent them an email, and within an hour or two, it might have been a little bit more than 24 hours. Yeah, it's about. But within an hour or two, they sent me an email back saying that that isn't a person that worked for us. So if you got a bad feeling about, say, a prospect, or you see a red flag, simply send the company an email. Now, if it's something like a bank, they will actually not only tell you if that person works for them, they will hunt that person down for you. You probably won't even know that they're hunting them down, because they will take it serious, and they have to by law. I think there's like a $100,000 fine for each time something like that does come up and they do not do anything about it. Like, it's a very serious thing, like federally, at least in America, it's a very serious thing for banks to not take security serious. and that's where you're going to probably see the highest amount of security in that. So that's a very, very important thing in itself. In fact, getting back to that, that's why whenever you spend money in different locations, if you're in the United States using a United States bank, if you spend money in different locations than you normally are, they will just cut the money off right there, or some other patterns show up. The items that you buy is odd, they'll just cut the money off. Is because of the federal law saying that they have to protect, and if there is any theft, identity theft, or any other money-based theft using their own stuff, I don't remember exact laws, but it gets around to they will have to pay the government itself a quite significant sum, and they don't want that, so they'll take it much further than you would ever do it yourself. So that's a very important thing to note. But for something like a small company like this, I wouldn't ever expect them to even remotely get close to hunting the person down or do anything else. Now, one thing you may be asking yourself is, once that they don't respond, then you pretty much got your answer right there. They are probably just treat it as a non-legit email. And you might ask yourself, well, why is the company itself is not legit? Because to make a website, you just need $20 for the server in about 2 hours or so to fully make it and make it look legit. Well, what you need to do is go to the website, take a look at it, see if there's misspellings on there, because that's a more common error that you'll find: misspelling, grammar, other things. And then take a look at the layouts and stuff like that. And then you can figure out who hosts their servers, but that's not going to really tell you anything. It's just basically use your best judgment when it comes to the websites themselves. And also, there's some things out there, like from Avast and some others, where it has ratings on websites. And this is a hit or miss thing, so take that as you want, but that's a very important thing. Anyways, this video's probably been long enough and everything, so hopefully that this has helped you out. And if you do have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section. And if you like this video, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, share. Didn't like this, then go ahead and leave a dislike, but tell me why so I can fix it in future videos. And if you got any tips for any future videos, go ahead and leave that in the comment section. This has been Craig Bennett, founder of TechViewSnope, and hope you have a great day.